Welcome everyone to today's show. It's so wonderful for you to join us. It's been quite a while. Thank you once again. So grateful. Now today I am super excited about the interview we're going to be having because I have been wanting to interview this woman for a long time. I think since around 2019, 2020, which is about what, 5-6 years, which makes it half a decade. So I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and then we're going to listen and hear what God has been doing in her life. Welcome to the show, Yolande.
Thank you so much, Sungi. And yeah, it's been a while. It's taken me 5-6 years
Yeah.
to come today. And I think it's a real breakthrough. And my name is Yolande Nyamugama. I am a mother. I am married to Batsirai. I have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. And the 3 things I love the most is photography, gardening, and music. And I use the 3 of them in everything that I do. And I think that's the thing that motivates me to get up every morning. And God has enabled me to be able to, and a lot of the times, to do all 3 at the same time. So I am honored to be here today, Tsungi.
Well, it's an honor for us to have you. Thank you for that lovely, lovely introduction. And now at least the audience knows who Yolande is and where she's coming from. So we want to hear what God has been doing in you, through you, for you. Just going to hand over to you and just feel free to talk about your life.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know where to start, but the one thing is when you approach me, I think when you're starting the show, I think I said yes, and then as somebody who takes pictures, I always love to be behind the scenes. So I've always had an issue with being in front of the camera. So today is a real breakthrough.
Really?
And thank you for not giving up on me. I think it's the start of a new journey for me. And hope after this I'll be comfortable sitting in front of the camera.
You look very comfortable even now.
Oh, thank
So
you.
carry on.
Yeah. So my journey has taken me down different paths, and the one thing that has been consistent in my life is that God has held my hand, even when I've felt like God is not there. I've really realized that for me to have walked through the different journeys that I've gone through, God has remained consistent in my life. When I look at my life, there are 2 things that come across. Gratitude, which is just being grateful for everything.
Amen.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's in those things that God has allowed me to grow. And I've seen so many things that, so many breakthroughs, and people will ask me, how did you do it? And I always say, God.
God.
If God hadn't been a part of my life, those
Amen.
things would not have happened. And the other thing that I have seen is how God has been able to use me in ways that I never thought were possible, where I have been able to touch lives of many people. And I'll be doing things naturally, like I'll do my daily things, and you see somebody coming back to me and saying, when you said this, this is what happened to me. When you did this, this is what happened to me. And I'm always taken aback, and I always realize that that wasn't me, that was God.
Wow.
Because in my own natural self, I don't think I would have done it knowing that somebody's life was hanging on what I had to say or something that I had to do. So taking it back, I went through a period where I went through serious depression, having lost my parents, and it took me into a very dark space in my life. And one of the things that I promised God back then is, when I come out of this, I want to be that person who brings the change that I wanted to see when I was going through what I was going through. Because the one thing that people take for granted is how issues to do with stress, anxiety, depression are real.
So like mental health issues.
Mental health issues.
Yeah.
It's real, and we take it for granted. And when we see somebody going through those things, we always label them and say they've got a mental illness.
Oh.
But for somebody to get to that stage is because they fail to get somebody who walked them through.
Or some sort of support.
Yeah, support.
Yeah.
And back in the day, there were very few support groups that would hold people up and walk people through issues to do with mental health. But I thank God that over the years, I've seen a lot of organizations and the awareness and the stigma is slowly starting to be melted down, because the stigma that's been associated with mental health is astonishing. Where if somebody is going through stuff, everybody just assumes, they've got a mental illness. And when you hear the word psychiatrist, everybody just assumes,
thinks they're crazy.
Yeah,
or something.
something.
Which is labeling somebody.
Yeah, labeling.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've always wanted to find a space where I'd be able to talk to people. And like I said, because of I'm somebody who wants to be behind the scenes, behind the camera, without necessarily putting my live face forward. I started writing, and initially it was a once-off thing where I would write a post and post it, and then maybe go for a couple of weeks, months without posting anything.
I've seen those. Very inspiring.
Thank you very much. I think 3 years ago, I then decided to take it seriously, because I realized that I was engaging with people who I didn't realize I was engaging with. Because one of my payoff lines is touch one, change one.
I believe, touch one, change one.
I believe if I'm able to touch one life and change one life, that life may touch another life and change another, and we'll have a
ripple,
snowball effect.
Yeah.
And who knows, we might just change the world.
Yeah.
And knowing that I was a part of the process of bringing change towards other people, I think that's been something that has kept me going, even on those days when I'm thinking, God, I don't know what I'm writing this week. But God always comes through.
Comes through.
And when I started, it was a bit hard, because I'd have to think, what am I writing this week? And it was week by week when I started.
So you had kind of sometimes like writer's block?
Yes.
I can identify with that, where you're like, what if I don't have anything to write next week?
And the one thing that I do is, for as long as I'm doing something casually, I'm okay. The moment I need to commit fully to something, I think I get the jitters, and I'm like, am I ready for this? And just like when you invited me, I was so excited. I'm going to go, I'm going to sit with Tsungi, we're going to talk.
Yes.
And I don't know if you noticed, I started kind of coming up with excuses every week. And that's because I had committed to it, and now I had to perform. And I got scared.
Is this like this time or years back?
Years back.
That's what happened.
This time, even this time round, I was talking to my husband and saying, Tsungi came back in the day. Now we've agreed on a date. And I kind of wanted to come up with an excuse of why I couldn't be here. But
I never got that sense.
God imprinted on me that it was important for me to be here today. I don't know why, but you know what? I decided to just be obedient, and also to respect my friend,
Thank you.
whose journey I've been following, and I've seen what it's been doing in people's lives.
Thank you for being obedient. I really think the things you're touching on, they will impact a lot of people, and mental health is one issue that really jumps out. I think that and other things will really help people. So thank you for being obedient.
Thank you, Tsungi. So going back to the issues of my writing, I think 3 years ago, I think God then spoke to me and said, you need to take this thing a little more seriously. And I started doing monthly themes. That's when I started themes. and I started off by coming up with what I was going to talk about for the month, and breaking it down to weekly, 4 weeks. And I started posting from Monday to Friday every week for 4 weeks, sometimes 5 weeks, depending on the length of the month.
Now, Yolande, where is this? Is this on Facebook? Is this on Instagram? Where you started posting?
Okay, that's where it gets
Interesting. By the way, we are going to put where you can get hold of her and where you can follow her and that kind of thing, or get hold of her. We're going to put that at the end. So, yeah.
So I am on WhatsApp.
Great. No, wonderful. That's a
On
popular
WhatsApp,
channel in Zimbabwe,
yes,
especially.
it is.
Yeah.
And I think every time I think of migrating to a bigger platform, I get the jitters again. And I'm thinking, I've always been one person who is very concerned about people, what people are going to say. And, and I've had people who make what I write about vanity, how I make it all about myself. But
Really?
you know what?
I'm surprised.
Yeah. And there's some people who are not very kind with their words. And
Oh, what a pity. I had no idea.
yeah. But I think I've come to a point where I've realized that this is what God wants me to do.
Yeah.
And if God has brought me to it, He'll see me through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So next month, I turn 53 next month. And as one of the things that I have decided to do is I'm looking forward to migrating from just the WhatsApp platform to different platforms,
Woo,
which
yes.
I'm yet to decide on. And so look out for it. It should be
I'm
coming
so
soon.
excited to hear that, Yolande, because you're doing great work and God is using you. And just being out there on those platforms means you increase your reach, and which is an important thing, so that more people can benefit from what you're doing. So don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about what people are saying. You just be obedient and just write what God has put on your heart.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Sungi. So yeah, so you don't realize the impact that you're having on people's lives until I post like I said, I post Monday to Friday. Normally by 7 a.m. My post is out.
Okay.
And I also created a community group where we get to discuss any issues that I may have posted. So besides posting just on my WhatsApp status,
There's the community.
I've created a community where whatever I'm posting on the status, I post in a community group, and then there's a chat group on the side where should anyone want to talk about what I've posted that week or that day, they can then get onto the community group. And,
wonderful.
And people are free to share. It's easier for them to share on the community, on the stuff that I've posted on the status. If they go on the community group, they're then able to share it to others, rather than because a lot of people will then come to me and say, please share what you posted.
Oh, right.
So now you can go on the community group, join the community group, and you can take whatever you want and you can share it. And so that has been the journey on, and I call my page a daily dose of Yolz.
Oh, Yolz for Yolande.
Yeah, which is my nickname, Yolz. And it's funny how the name came up, but I've grown to love it.
It's nice.
And,
Yolz, got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, and everybody, a lot of people have been saying to me, why don't you patent the name? But you know what?
Before someone steals it.
Before somebody steals it. But if you go online, you will find a couple
it's
of...
Yolz.
Yeah, but probably with an S and not a Z.
A Z, okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to...
So a daily dose.
A daily dose of Yolz.
Of Yolz. And that's what you're going to carry through wherever you go.
Yes,
so
that's what I'm... Yeah.
That makes sense.
With the sunflower at the end of it.
Yes, I've noticed, even her WhatsApp messages. It's so sweet. She puts a little sunflower, but it's nice because it just reminds me of... It just adds a bit of light to your day when you get that. Even if you were sad or something and you're like, oh, a sunflower, thank you.
Yeah, because that's my other nickname, the sunflower girl.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I grew a love for sunflowers. because I went and studied it, and how the sunflower will always look towards the sun.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and
Wow, wow.
when I look at the sunflower and I look at myself, I realize that whatever I'm going through, I always look to God. Just like the sunflower looks towards the
Wow.
light,
Wow, that's profound.
I look towards God.
Profound.
So I'm the sunflower girl.
Nice.
Yes, free to call me Yolz, so
Yours?
whichever one works for you. And I've become very synonymous with the sunflower, and I get a lot of people who will
Yeah.
send me pictures and
Of
articles of
sunflowers.
sunflowers.
I think I'm going to follow suit from this day.
And I've seen a splurge of sunflowers on social media now, and I always say, God, did you know it was coming? And I hope my love for sunflowers has touched other people's lives and made them realize that there's always a light, and if you look towards the light, and the light in my life is God.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
you always find you'll always find guidance,
Guidance.
through whatever challenges you're facing in life.
I've got a question for you. I heard you saying you like gardening. By any chance, do you have any sunflowers in your garden? I just had to ask.
I grow sunflowers.
Oh
I've
my
got
gosh,
a
it's
little.
not a surprise though.
I grow a little sunflower patch in the
Oh,
corner.
really?
And
Wow.
the other day I was talking to a little sister, and she said to me 2 years ago she grew a sunflower, 3 acres or something of sunflowers. And I was saying to her,
Wow.
why didn't you tell me?
3 acres.
Always dreamt of having a photo shoot in
in a sunflower field.
yeah, in a sunflower field. And
Oh, beautiful.
that's something that's on my wish list. And
Maybe if you ask
bucket
around,
list,
you can
bucket
find
list.
someone still now who
Yeah, who has
farms
yeah.
them. Yeah.
The couple of times I've seen the sunflowers, we've always been on a long journey where it's somebody's farm and you can't just stop and start
And
taking.
say, excuse me, please,
Yeah.
can I take a picture?
But it would be it's my dream
Okay.
to just have a photo shoot in a.
Where your dream
Yeah,
come true. It
yeah.
will. I believe it will.
I've had a couple done at a restaurant on Crow Hill.
Crow Hill.
But there are not as many sunflowers as I'd love to see, a whole field and me in the midst of it.
I think you can eventually
Yeah.
find that one day.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking forward to what God is doing and what God has done in my life. I appreciate how He's held my hand through many difficulties. Being a parent, children go through things,
I
and
know.
as a parent, you always have to hold their hand. And I've found that God has helped me walk through those things, and God has helped me walk through many life challenges. And what I've realized is my experiences are what I use
Yes.
a lot of the times, and they what inspire me. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to write about this month or the next month, or the next year, but just when I need that inspo on what to write about, I always find God it just comes.
This comes.
And I never put it to myself to say that I have such great wisdom, but I always realize that God walks with me
Amen.
every step of the way.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I know also, I hope you don't mind me mentioning, I know you're a counselor.
Yes.
Please, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because why I'm saying that is because a lot of people are in need of help or someone to talk to or, just guidance.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us a bit about that part of your life.
Okay. So I work with an organization as a volunteer, an organization called Island Hospice, which deals with terminal illnesses, people going through terminal illnesses, where we give support and care towards those people who are suffering, and we support the families as well who are taking care of them. So it's something that I've been doing, I think, I've been working with Island Hospice for the last 3 years, and I found it very fulfilling when every time you're able to walk somebody through a challenge that they're going through, having lost a close relative or taking care of a close relative. You need to talk to someone, and it's been good that I've been one of those people who has been able to touch people's lives And on the side, I do counseling as well.
Okay.
So people with, I think word gets round, where if somebody's going through something and for some reason somebody just gives them my name and they'll come through to me. So I do one-to-one counseling. So I'm sure you'll be able to post my details
Yes, I will
if
do
anybody
that.
ever
I'll do
needs
that.
to just talk to someone freely. And one of the things that we've been taught through the training, I've done counseling training through Christian Counseling Center,
Okay.
biblical counseling. I've done counseling through Island Hospice as well, and I've been certified as a counselor there. I've also done counseling through the Viktor Frankl Institute of Israel, where I've done, it's called logotherapy, which is finding meaning through life. It helps you to identify things that you can use to find meaning, and it helps you to heal naturally. It's not medication or anything that you take, but it just helps you to look at your life wholly and just find areas that bring you joy, and to try and focus on those things.
That's good. That's good.
So it's been good. I'm still I'm actually doing my thesis with on logotherapy right now.
So that means you're studying?
Yeah, I'm studying. I'm doing the advanced stage.
Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
So you never stop learning. So every time I hear there's an opportunity for me to enhance my understanding on how to help people to walk through issues to do with mental health, I always jump for it. And it's not
wonderful.
just for the certificates, but it's more to gain knowledge on how best we can help.
To improve your skills.
To improve my skills on how best.
Wow, the wind. Okay, gone. So I wanted to ask, so your counseling, is it for anybody going through any problem, or is it more mental health issues, or is it focused on a certain area? Is it marriage? Is it this, what? Or is it just people who are depressed or stressed? What kind of people do you have to turn away some people? Like, do you just counsel for any kind of challenge or not?
Yeah, I counsel for any type of challenge, because what happens is, in order for somebody to
have that issue,
to have that issue, they must have gone through something.
Okay.
And I may not have all the solutions, but what I do is I walk people through whatever issues they're going through, and we try and come up with the way. Because remember, in counseling, I'm not the one who's coming up with the solutions on how best you can get through what you're going through. But what I can do is I can help guide you to a place where you make a decision that you feel is what you need to walk through what you're going through. And there are cases where just talking to somebody may not be the solution. I have doctors that I work with who I can then refer you. They're specialized, they're certified doctors who will then take over the cases of those people who I feel may need some medical interventions, because I am not qualified
for that
to administer or prescribe any medication. But what I do is, when I counsel somebody and I realize that this case is bigger than me, we then refer them to doctors who will be able to assist. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I've got an interesting question. So I've understood that you have to refer some people for medical assistance, and then you're dealing mostly with the soul realm, which is like trying to together to find a solution with whoever has come to you. Now, the spirit man, because I know you're a strong Christian, do you sometimes see something when you're counseling someone where you're like, I actually need to refer this person maybe for spiritual help, or like a spiritual doctor, a pastor? Does that also happen?
No, that happens a lot.
Okay.
And the one thing that we need to realize about counseling is a lot of times when people are going through issues to do with stress, anxiety, depression, throwing Bible bashing, that's what it's been termed. Bible bashing can actually throw people into a deeper space than they were. But it's important for you to walk through with that person and also be able to be discerning enough
Okay.
to realize, because not everybody is Christian.
No, not everybody
not
is as
everybody
well.
is
That's the
Christian.
thing. Yeah.
So it's important for you to be able to be discerning enough to realize which way to refer your
person,
client.
okay.
Yeah.
Or to a
And-
psychologist sometimes?
Yeah, psychologists
Okay,
sometimes.
okay.
Yeah. So if you notice that somebody is leaning towards Christianity,
Okay.
you can then start sharing Bible verses with them. And we have institutions like the Christian Counseling Center,
Okay.
which does Christian counseling. So if it's something that you feel they need deeper spiritual help with, you can always refer people to Christian Counseling Center, who will be able to better assist and walk, do biblical walk with
them,
the
for
client,
the people who
yeah,
subscribe to that way of
to
thinking.
that way of thinking.
Okay.
So they're different, because there's just your general counseling, which covers everything,
Yeah.
every religion.
Just anyone who needs help.
Anyone who
Yeah,
needs
I like
the
that. I
help,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that's the one thing we need to always realize, that not everybody that
Exactly.
needs help is
Is a
Christian.
Christian.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that out. I felt that was very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if there's another area you mentioned, maybe the last area that I want to ask you about. You mentioned that you do photography. Please tell us a bit about that. There's so much in this lady. So tell us about photography.
I think it's something that I inherited from my
Oh,
father.
really?
Yeah, because growing up, my dad always had a camera
Oh, wow.
with him. He was always behind the camera. And it's no surprise that I found myself with the camera in my hand. And my first camera, I started taking pictures on my phone until my brother-in-law gifted me with my first digital
Oh, nice.
camera. I think it must have been some 6 years ago, and I've never gone back on
It's like
it.
a professional.
Yeah, it's a
camera.
professional
Yeah.
camera. And I believe my photography business, which hasn't grown as much as it's supposed to, is called Yolz Photography,
Oh, nice.
which is
Yolz.
about telling a story through the pictures.
Wow,
So I'm not
powerful.
about just taking pictures. I like to tell a story of what I'm seeing through the pictures. So I like to say it's a wedding. I like to start where it started. Take pictures of, if it's the bride, from the time she's dressing up, what she's wearing, the environment she's in, as she leaves the house, to the venue and everything.
That's nice. That's
So
beautiful.
I never like to be the main photographer because it's a big function, and it's very difficult for me to capture everything. So I like to zone in on areas that I feel, when the couple looks back, it's things that may have been missed by other photographers, because
yeah.
I like to supplement what the main photographer is.
That's quite an
doing.
interesting angle. Yeah.
So I like to focus on those things that not everybody's looking at. And my niece was saying to me, Ambuya, you have such a gift, because when I look at your pictures, there's more to the picture than just the faces. There's something behind it. And she says to me, you take pictures at a function, and in as much as photographers get in the way, she says, I don't see you.
You like
it's
doing
like
that.
you're there, but you're not there. So I think it's something that's in me that I have over the years refined. But I love to take pictures. And my family, especially my husband, he's not a picture person. Well, he wasn't a picture person.
I'm sure.
But you find I never visit any relative and leave without taking pictures. And the few times that I have forgotten, he'll say to me, you haven't taken pictures.
So he's brought into the vision now.
So it's brought into the vision. My kids, my daughters,
They
and
take
my son,
pictures.
they take pictures as well. If I attend a function and maybe I'm not well enough to be taking pictures. I can always pass my camera to one of my kids, and they will do just as fabulous a job
Wow,
as
wow,
yeah.
wow. You've taught them well, because I
Yeah.
think that captures memories.
Yes, it does.
And you know the saying that a picture paints 1,000 words,
Yes,
so
it does.
you can tell so much from a picture.
Mhm.
Now, does that mean people can also look you up for that, or is that on a case? Is that on more like referral, word of mouth? Can people also look for you for this supportive role when they have a function, even if you don't want to be the main
Yeah,
photographer?
yeah, they can.
So
They
we'll
can.
we'll put all that down, I guess, at the end, so that people can reach you for different things, for counseling, to follow your writing, for photography. You know, she's, like I said, she's got so much in her. Multi-talented.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So now I'm just thinking we're winding off now. And is there anything you'd want to say to the audience? I'm sure that a lot of different people have been catered for by your testimony. But what I get to see here is that you're basically using your gifts, the
Yes.
gifts that God has given you. But I don't know what you could say. Maybe there's some people holding back, or maybe the people are concerned about what people think. I don't know. Or maybe they think this is just a trivial gift. I don't know. Is there just something you'd like to give people as a take-home message?
Yeah. My theme for this year is stewardship. And it's been really a deeper journey than I thought it would be, because stewardship takes into account a lot of things. And the main thing that comes out is being a steward of the gifts that God has given you and using them, not just for yourself, being selfless with the gifts that God has given you. And sometimes we question ourselves. And like I said in the beginning, that I was always one who was scared about what people are going to say, and people are going to judge me. But what I've realized is the gifts that God has given us, the talents that God has given us, they're not for ourselves, just ourselves.
So true.
Let's get out of ourselves and realize that anything that you do for the glory of God will benefit you at the end of the day. People will talk, people will discourage you, but keep pressing on and just allow God to use you. And at the end of it all, you'll see that you're not as bad as you thought you were. Just allow God to be God in your lives. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. That's so powerful. I'm not going to add anything to that because you just said it all so beautifully. Thank you, Yolanda, so much for making the time to come to share, part of your life and your story, and for encouraging people out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tsugi. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it
Oh my
would
gosh,
be.
it
I
was
thought
beautiful.
I'd be shaking.
No, she
But
did
I've loved.
beautifully. You're a natural.
I've loved every moment of being here with you today.
You're most
And
welcome.
thank you for the work that you're doing and
Thank
the
you.
lives that you're touching through the work that you're doing.
You're welcome, my dear. Let me give you a hug.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for watching till the end. And I will put all her details at the end so that you can get hold of her for the various things, or for all the things if that's what you would like. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much once again, and bye-bye.
Bye.